Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to solve a type of problem from Index 33 EPS, and this is about the diluted EPS. Diluted EPS can be happened by debentures. Diluted EPS means we have a basic EPS. If that basic EPS is diluted by any of the new introduction of shares, then it is diluted EPS. Okay, earnings per share. If the earnings per share is reduced, then what's the reason for the reduction? So that's what we are going to find out. That it can be diluted EPS can be happened by debentures, by ESOP, by preference shares, and by bonds. So debentures can be converted into equity shares, right? And ESOP is the introduction of new shares at the discount price. Preference shares can be converted into equity shares, right? Then there might be an increase in shares. Then bonds also can be increased. Bonds also can be converted into equity shares, right? So this is also dilute the EPS. So this is the four scenarios we have to understand what is diluted EPS. So let's quickly get into the problem. The diluted EPS is a comprised line item of these four items only: purchase, one-ish, savings, share increase due to conversion. Okay, purchase is profit attributable to equity shareholders. Attributable to equity shareholders. What is purchase in this question is 86 lakh 50,000. It's directly given. And what's the one-ish, which is 25 lakh shares. Total paid up shares, see, 25 lakhs. And there is a 1 lakh 10% debentures. 1 lakh 10% debentures at rupees 10. Each were issued on 31/9/2022. Tax rate 30%. Conversion rate is 10 ordinary shares for each debentures. Okay, they have issued 1 lakh convertible debentures. That 1 lakh convertible debentures can be converted into 10 equity shares. Okay, then how much will be an increase? 10 lakh shares, right? 10 lakh equity shares has been increased. Okay, what could be the savings? There is the interest savings, right? So if 1 lakh shares are 1 lakh shares into 1 crore, right? 1 lakh debentures into rupees 10, which is rupees 1 crore, into 10%, which is rupees 10 lakh. 10 lakh is the interest savings, right? What could be the tax benefit out of this interest savings? Tax benefit is 30%. 1 minute, let me take a calculator. Okay, 10 lakh into 30% is 3 lakh, right? So net saving is 7 lakhs only. So what we have to understand here is the interest savings is what we are what we are saving. Tax benefit is we are losing the tax benefit out of interest. We are losing, so net saving. So this is what this table is conveying. Okay, so we found out all the line items, so we can quickly finish off the sum in no time. Basic EPS is equal to profit attributable to equity shareholders divisible by weighted average number of equity shares, which is 86 lakh 50,000 divisible by 25 lakh. 86 lakh 56 divisible by 25 lakh, which is divisible by 25 lakhs. Just 3.46 is the basic EPS. What could be the diluted EPS? Diluted EPS formula is purchase plus savings plus 1-ish plus increase in shares due to conversion. This is the formula for all the methods. Okay, so what's the potash here? 86,50,000 is the potash, divisible by 25 lakh is the vanesh, plus we found the net saving that 7 lakh is the net saving, plus increase in shares due to conversion, which is, how much is the increase in shares, which is 10 lakh shares, right? So 10 lakh shares, 86,50,000 plus 7 lakh divisible by 35 lakh, just 2.67 per share is the diluted EPS. Okay, now we have completed the first problem, which is diluted EPS by debentures. Next, let's get into the diluted EPS by ESOP. Okay, what's the potash here? Profit attributable to equity shareholders is 24 lakhs. See, 24 lakhs. What's the vanesh here? Vanesh is 10 lakh shares. Okay, what could be the savings and what's the share increase due to conversion? Okay, let's quickly find out the share increase due to conversion. So these two needs a different kind of approach for this ESOP. First, we will finish off the basic EPS. Basic EPS is 24 lakh divisible by vanesh, which is 10 lakh. 2.4 per share is the basic EPS. Okay, now what's the saving? The total number of options given by the company is number of option shares, which is 2 lakh shares, right? At which price? At ESOP price, which is rupees option price, rupees 15. So 2 lakh into 15, which is rupees 30 lakh is what company is going to get. Okay, so we got the amount which the company is going to get. Now if we divide this number with the fair value per share, we'll get the number of shares the company is going to get in the full value. Okay, rupees 30 lakhs. Okay, let's, for how many shares the company is going to get full value? Which is rupees 30 lakhs divisible by rupees 20, which is the fair value. Okay, so 1,50,000 shares is what the company is going to get the full share amount. Then remaining 50,000 shares, right, which is given as bonus shares. Okay, 50,000 shares increased, but company hasn't received any price for that 50,000 shares. So now we got the share increase due to conversion, which is 50,000 shares, and the company is going to save nothing, no savings out of this ESOP issue. Okay, then diluted EPS is equal to potash is how much? 24 lakh plus what the savings? 0. So what's the vanesh? 10 lakhs plus what's the share increase due to conversion, which is 50 lakh shares, sorry, 50,000 shares. So 24 lakh plus 10 lakh 50,000, which is, sorry, 24 lakh divisible by 10 lakh 50,000, which is 2.29. 2.29 per share is the diluted EPS share. Okay. Then let's get into the preference shares. Okay. So what's the Patesh here? Patesh is the net earnings, which is 7,000 or 70 lakhs, which is 70 lakhs. See, Patesh is the 70 lakh, and the company had 3,50,000 shares of rupees 10. Okay, 3,50,000 shares is the Vanesh. Okay, what could be the savings for preference shares? If the preference shares are converted into equity shares, preference dividend would be the savings, right? What's the preference dividend? Which is rupees 5 per share. Okay, each share of the convertible preference shares are converted into 2 shares. Okay, 1 lakh shares into 2 equity shares, which is 2 lakh equity shares. Okay, now in the question we have preference dividend. In any of the questions we haven't have the preference dividend. So if the question is given with the preference dividend, which is the preference shares the company is having, then we have to deduct the preference dividend from the net profit. Then only we'll get the Patesh. This is the net profit. So what's the preference dividend? Which is 1 lakh preference shares into rupees 5, which is 5 lakhs. So our Patesh is 65 lakhs. Vanesh is 3,50,000 shares. Then the preference dividend is, so okay, savings. How can we calculate the savings? Okay, we found out the Patesh is profit attributable to equity shareholders, which is 65 lakhs. What's the preference dividend? Sorry, preference dividend. Okay, total savings is 1 lakh preference shares into rupees 5, which is 5 lakh is the preference dividend which we are going to save if we are issuing the equity shares for the preference shares. Okay, if you are converting the preference shares into equity shares, we are going to save 5 lakh rupees preference dividend out of this conversion. Okay, and share increase due to conversion is 2 lakh shares. Now let's quickly calculate the basic EPS and diluted EPS. Okay, basic EPS is 65 lakh plus 3,50,000, which is rupees 18.57. The diluted EPS which is Patesh, which is 65 lakhs plus savings, which is 5 lakhs, divisible by Vanesh, which is 3,50,000 plus 2 lakhs is the share increase. So 70 lakhs divisible by 5,50,000. So 12.73 is the diluted diluted EPS per share. Okay, so in the question what they are given, they are given with the net profit, but we came to know that the company is having the preference shares also. The preference shares the company is issuing rupees 5 for every preference share. So we found out that the preference dividend is 5 lakhs. So profit attributable to equity shareholders always net off with the preference dividend. So we found out that 65 lakhs is the Patesh. Then the Vanesh is 3,50,000. What's the savings? Savings the preference dividend. Share increase is 1 lakh into 1 lakh preference shares converted into two equity shares each. So which is 2 lakhs equity shares. So we calculated the basic EPS and diluted EPS. Okay, last one. Now bonds can be converted into equity share, convertible bonds. Okay, here in the question they are given with million. We are treated as numbers only. 2,000, 3 million are treated as 3. Okay, so you don't confuse with the million values. Okay, now 200 million rupees 20 shares in issue. Okay, 2000 shares they have issued, which is 1ish 2000 shares. Okay, what's the convertible bonds? 3 convertible bonds are there at rupees 200. Okay, bonds have an interest rate of 8%. Interest rate 8%. Okay, tax rate 25%. Okay, each bond will be converted into 10. So okay, 3 into 10, which is 30 shares has been increased, okay, due to conversion. So earnings for the period were 7,000 million. Okay, 7,000 rupees, 7,000 is the Patesh. Now we have to calculate the savings, how much we are going to save. There are 3 into 3 bonds into 200, which is 600 rupees into 8% interest, which is rupees 48. Okay, 48 is the increase, 48 is the interest amount, interest savings. Okay, minus tax benefit. Tax benefit we are losing, right? So we have to calculate the tax benefit also for this interest amount, which is 48 rupees into 25%, which is 12 rupees. So our net savings is 36 rupees. Right, so now we got all the values. Let's quickly calculate the basic EPS. What's the basic EPS? Patesh divisible by Banesh 2000, which is 7,000 divisible by 2000, which is 3.5 per share is the basic EPS. Diluted EPS, which is 7,000 plus what's the savings we have, 636, right? And the Banesh is 2000 plus 30 is the share increase. Okay, 7,036 plus divisible by 2030, which is rupees 3.47 per share. This is the diluted EPS. So very simple, only four boxes we have to have clarity over, which is Patesh Banesh savings, share increase due to conversion. That's it. Everything revolves around this only. So we can easily get 7 marks out of this problem if they are asking question. Yes, they are asking examination. We can expect these kind of questions from 2 mark also. So we'll see with another new concept tomorrow. Thanks.